So here's what's on the bench. I've got these leftover remnant boards of roasted red oak sitting on the workbench right now. They came from a project that I've been working on, a hallway table that I posted a couple videos about. I thought maybe we should dive into this and discuss what this wood is all about. What I really liked about this wood is this open grain oak texture that you get throughout the wood, and then the color. The color turns virtually black with the finish. It's really a cool effect, cool texture, cool color, all in one. So naturally, the next question is, what in the world is this stuff? This is just regular red oak that's been heat treated, or what they call torrefied or thermally modified. It's a process that essentially does two things: gives it a dark color and then improves its weather resistance and stability. So this is not a new concept, it's not a new technique, it's just a modern version of it. In fact, 8th century Vikings used a very similar torrefaction process to help steam bend the planks that help make their curved hulls of their boats. Plus, the process also helps repel water. And a pretty cool piece of trivia is that they toast or char the inside of bourbon barrels, whiskey barrels, and some wine barrels to add flavor and color. Or you also might be familiar with the Japanese wood burning technique they call yakasugi or Sugi ban. I apologize if I'm butchering the pronunciation on those, I'm not really sure how to say them. It's a similar concept with a similar result in which you apply heat to wood to give it a certain look and to get a certain reaction out of the wood that improves its weather resistance, its rot resistance, and its stability. So heat treating lumber, how do they do it and why? Basically, this takes place in a giant oven that can accommodate a lot of lumber at once, a few thousand feet at least. Clearly, you're not going to do this in your kitchen oven, right? Number one, you don't want to fire in your hands. That would be a bad thing. Second, your oven's just too small. I mean, you can't even get a piece of wood in there that size. So anyway, this is not for your kitchen oven. This is for a lumber production oven, for lack of a better word. So they take a load of lumber, they pack it into an oven, start increasing the heat, and then they use a vacuum also to suck out the oxygen. Let's review. We've got wood, we've got heat, we don't want to fire, so we suck out the oxygen, right? Then they increase the temperature and the pressure a little bit more, and that whole process takes a couple days. So that combination of high heat and pressure just changes the cell wall structure a bit in the wood so that it resists water a lot better than it did before. Plus it oxidizes the natural color really quickly. So there's no dye, there's no stain, there's no chemicals in this. That's just a natural oxidization that just happened really quickly. When I say really quickly, that just means over the course of a couple of days, and then they cool it down relatively slowly, and it's ready to go after that. So this provides new options for things like exterior siding, paneling, decking, outdoor furniture, that type of stuff. Those are all the driving forces behind why a lumber production facility will heat treat lumber. But it's the attractive appearance that cannot be overstated as well. But here's a few things I think you should know when you work with it. First of all is the scent. This stuff smells like a campfire when you cut into it, when you sand it. Plus that dust, it's black, gets all over everything. Be sure you're wearing a mask. I don't think you want to be breathing this stuff in. Again, there's no chemicals used in this, but at the end of the day, it's wood dust. It smells pretty smoky. I'm just not too keen about breathing that in. Plus your sawn edges where you get a really sharp corner, that stuff it's a little more brittle right there. So you're going to want to ease over the corners and sharp edges of your final project parts just to reduce splintering and damage that can happen to those parts. So as you're doing dry fits on your joints, if you push them together, pull them apart like 10 times, you're going to wear it out a little bit quicker. So yes, you want to do dry fits, but do as few as possible. Of course, now you might be thinking, so what does heat treating do to the wood's working characteristics? So machining the wood and shaping it, manipulating it with hand tools is no more difficult, no more harder on your tools than it was without the heat treatment. But why tell you when I can show you? Now, because of the way heat treatment actually modifies the wood cells and its ability to repel water, be aware of how that can affect your glue joints. So check this out. I made a few test samples with just a basic butt joint with a variety of different glues. No splines, no dowels, no biscuits, no reinforcement whatsoever. Clamped them up overnight, then let them sit for about a week, and then just gave them the old persuasion test. Say hello to my little friend. So polyurethane glue is probably your best bet. The wood broke, but the joint didn't. Second, Type on 2 and Type on 2 Dark made really strong joints also, but you got to use enough glue and leave it clamped up overnight. But Type on 3 didn't seem to hold well at all. That sample broke right on the glue joint, hardly tore any of the wood fibers at all. So I don't know if I would trust that one on this stuff.